Thanks, Glenn. Hey, Dante, congratulations on the new contract.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, just I guess first off, how quickly did things ramp up in the last 72 hours that led to the point of signing?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it kind of came pretty close down to the wire here, but yeah, I thought the negotiations were going well, and I think each and every day we were making progress on what we found fair on both sides, and ultimately came down to the final offer there. And for myself, I from day one, after the season, I had made my intentions clear that I wanted to be back in Columbus, and um, again, yeah, I just couldn't be more happy to be back part of this organization and back in the locker room with all those guys. So I think we really have a good thing going on there, and so obviously next going into next year, have some more expectations out of our team and continue to push to be the best we can.
Yeah, and you guys were right there on the playoff cusp too, right till the end. Just looking back or looking ahead now, what do you see as the biggest opportunity that'll get your team kind of over that hump into the playoffs, which you guys are looking for?
Yeah, I think continue with our consistency. I mean, I think in and throughout the lineup, you see how dangerous we can be when we're playing really well and playing together. So again, just continuing that consistency throughout, the 82 game schedule. And there's obviously, with the season being so long, the ups and downs of everything. But I think we have a lot of really good pieces to make something special here. And that's definitely a big reason why I wanted to come back. I felt, this team is heading in the right direction.
Okay, next we'll go to Brian Hedrick. Go ahead, Brian.
Hey Dante, good to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Hope the off season's going well for you. I just kind of wanted to go back really quickly and touch on July 1st and UFA, and I know it did come close. Is it a tough thing? I mean, I know hockey's a game, but it's also a business.
Mhm.
And you look at the market out there now, and it looks like the defensemen, forwards, whatever it is, might be able to drive a pretty high price on this marketplace. So how do you like weigh that versus the certainty and your comfort with staying here as well? Was that a tough balance?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always, risk going into free agency and not really knowing, what to expect. And like you said, I was really comfortable with Columbus, and I felt, I had a good spot there and a good home. And I think that that can go into a lot of things and a lot, like you said, there are a lot of factors, but ultimately my number one goal was to stay with Columbus and to re-sign with Columbus. And yeah, I just felt, throughout the whole process, we came to an agreement, and I thought it was really fair, so that's why I took it. And there was no sense of me to go into free agency to, maybe test the market to chase a little bit more money, but at the same time, I felt, with this number and the term I thought was perfect for me. And again, I get to come back to a great team, a great organization, and be part of something special.
Your start here turned out to be a little bit comical just because rough start in Nashville this year. I'm sure you didn't, I know you didn't play a ton, and then you jump right into the top pairing over here, playing
Mhm.
big minutes. Can you take us back through that first game? And I remember we were talking to Z at the end of the season, and he was just like, I don't know if he's going to make it, like one of those things. This is kind of a joke, but can you just take us back from your start here and just kind of how quickly things came together? It seemed like everything meshed really quickly for you here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I had played in about 3 weeks, and obviously put on waivers. And fortunate enough, Columbus picks me up, and essentially had a couple hours to pack a bag and meet the team in Seattle. And so yeah, I mean, there was definitely some nerves there, but I think I was just more excited to get the opportunity to play again. And fast forward to the game, get through for my first couple shifts, and look over to Z, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this game. Like, just my legs were tired, my lungs, everything, just with everything going on. And luckily was able to make it through the game. And, pretty much after that first game, we kind of hit the ground running, and thought we had built some really good chemistry together. And yeah, so I thought, throughout the seasons, obviously there's, injuries and whatnot that happens, and you got to fill different spots on the team and different roles. And but yeah, for the most part, I felt really comfortable out there. And big credit to obviously the coaching staff and my teammates to help me out and really get the grasp of our systems and whatnot. And again, just learning different guys' personalities on the team is big. And I do like to chat a lot in the locker room and kind of be that not a presence, but just kind of be that guy to joke around and stuff like that in the locker room. But be serious when you need to be serious. So yeah, for the most part, it was a crazy, obviously, few days there when everything kind of had happened with Nashville and then going to Columbus. But um, I've told people this lots of times. It was probably the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah. And the last one from me here is just kind of building on that. I mean, your relationship on the ice, off the ice with Z in particular. It seems like you guys have really good chemistry and it kind of translates in both areas, huh?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I had signed my thing and it hadn't been announced yet, but I made sure I reached out to Z first just to let him know. And obviously, it's with us playing last year, I just obviously wanted to give him the heads up and let him know I'm coming back and things like that. But yeah, I just like you said with the chemistry and stuff like that, where throughout the season we were always constantly chatting on things we need to do better or different things to look at on the ice. And for myself. It's pretty easy to play with a player like Z, and just with how good he is, and the way he skates and sees the ice. For myself, I just obviously want to try and get the puck in his hands and let him do his thing. So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun, but obviously I'm looking forward to next year and hitting the ground running.
Okay, next we'll go to Aaron Portzline. Go ahead, Aaron.
Thanks, Glenn. Hey, congratulations, Dante. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Um, you mentioned it a little bit a couple questions ago with Brian's question. Can you speak to just how dramatic the turnaround was for you in your career? I'm guessing the waiver wire is not a happy place to be, an unsettling place. You were maybe taken a bit surprised by that. To go from that to playing next to the number two Norris Trophy guy and yourself setting franchise record, your career record, sorry, in goals, points, ice time, just the turnaround and where you were and where you've come.
Yeah. I've always had, belief in myself and whatnot. And, for whatever reason, things just weren't working out in Nashville, and they decided to take a different direction. And like I said, I was obviously grateful that Columbus took a chance on me. And I know how hard I'd worked to get to be prepared for the season. And so, yeah, I think the biggest thing for me was just staying mentally kind of locked into what I need to do on a day-to-day basis and staying focused. And, that was kind of my mentality when I wasn't playing in Nashville, and trying to show up early and just work on things that, I might have not got the opportunity to work on in regular practices or whatnot like that. But yeah, I stayed focused and tried to not worry about any distractions or anything like that, or what might be. And so I felt that was a big step for me, and understanding the mental game side of things. And obviously kind of coming into Columbus, I just wanted to obviously prove a point and show people that I do belong here. And fortunately enough, I had a great year and was able to obviously, like you said, have a career year. And obviously like I said, big credit to our team and the way we play. And it's just a fun style to play. I think we got a good mix of everything with our goalies to our decor to our forwards. I think throughout the lineup, everyone contributes in different ways. And we're a team, which is the most important part of it. And whenever you're a team, I think things throughout the season go a lot smoother. And I know we had a couple ups and downs, but just the way we were be able to work through those things and come out on the other end better for it.
Yeah. And you in your contract, forgive me if I'm wrong, you have a full no trade the first year and then a modified the rest of the way. Why was that important to you? The
Yeah, I
first
just
year.
think, I think having that security in playing in one place for the year. And again, it's not like, just because you sign, the contract that, it's time to relax. I think for myself and my mentality, it's still a kind of get in there and go prove yourself again. Um, yeah, just to have that no trade is obviously amazing, but at the same time, my mentality isn't changing. I wanna go in there and put my best foot forward and try to have a better year than I did last year. So that's ultimately the goal. And again, to get into playoffs and try to make a run is the end goal here, and to obviously win a Stanley Cup. And I really do think we have a lot of great pieces on our team, and it's we're only going to be better for it.
Thanks, Dante.
Next, we'll go to Jeff Svoboda. Go ahead, Jeff.
Good to see you, Dante. Congratulations on signing.
Thank you very much.
You've mentioned this a couple times, but just fitting into the locker room, you come to a new team, and I don't think you really knew a ton of guys that were here when you got here. Just how much did that help, just that you were able to kind of fit in the room so quickly? You've talked about how it's kind of a special place a couple times there, but just how do you think it was? Just how much did that help, just being able to have that comfort and be able to kind of build relationships quickly with the guys?
Yeah, I think it goes a long way. I mean, as soon as I got there, I felt welcomed right away. I'd played with Olivier, and I knew a couple of the Vancouver boys just from training sessions and whatnot, and growing up in the same areas. But so I did know a few people and whatnot, and I think immediately they made me feel welcome, and which is important. I feel like, if, rules were, in reverse and somebody was coming to the team, I feel like I try to do that and make guys feel welcome and comfortable. And so, yeah, it was just, it was honestly, it was a seamless transition to come into the locker room. And when you got a locker room full of a great group of guys, it makes things a lot easier for sure. And again, I can't thank the guys enough to kind of bring me in with open arms.
Nice. And you mentioned reaching out to Z when you signed the contract. What was his reaction to finding out you're coming back?
No, it was good. Yeah, I texted Boone and Z, kind of in a group chat, and then Z had texted me on the side, and yeah, he was obviously happy, and to see me come back. And I think his the last text was, obviously, let's take a step next year and continue to build this thing. So that just felt great, and he couldn't be more right. I'm ready to obviously take that step and just get ready for the next season here. I'm excited. I finally know where I'm playing, and so it makes things a lot easier. And now just strictly focus on training and next year.
Okay, we'll go to Dave Metzel. Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, Dante, let me add my congratulations to the extension. That's awesome.
Thank you very much.
You mentioned we've talked about the frenzy around you arriving as a Blue Jacket. Now you've got a month or so to think about it, and you'll be joining the team right from the start of training camp. What kind of difference do you think that'll make?
Yeah, I obviously that turnaround with Nashville coming and then coming to Columbus was tough, and I think it'll just I think my mind will just be at ease. I'm not worried about what might happen or things like that. So just being able to go into the locker room and start training camp with this group of guys will be awesome. And I've said it a few times already. It's a special group, and we got a lot of things going well right now. So not saying that things are going to be easy next year or anything like that. I think every season's different, and it comes with different challenges and whatnot. But yeah, I'm just excited to be back. It's nice to have that clarity on where I'm playing and things like that. But yeah, things definitely help when you're starting with a team at training camp and getting to see everyone again, and instead of joining the team a month into the season and having to learn a new system and get to learn all the new faces and whatnot of the organization. So yeah, it's definitely a lot more comfortable for sure coming back this year than it was at the start of last year.
And how can that period, that training camp period, that preseason period, help you and Z be even a better pairing?
Yeah, I think just obviously working through some things. I think the summertime, obviously you use that time to train and work on your game. But I think for us, it's just getting back to timing and just not even thinking out there. I think by when we were playing well, we weren't thinking. We were just kind of, going out there and playing and doing what we do. So, um, yeah, I think it'll give us that time to, I guess recalibrate essentially to get our timing back and get our reads back off of these with one another. And I know talking with Z, he's we talk about different things and what we see on the ice and whatnot. So yeah, it'll be awesome to have that time to kind of get back together and get things going again.
Okay, and we'll head back to Brian Hedger for final questions for Dante.
Dante, I was just kind of curious. You joined the team in November. This was a team that all season long had obviously, banded together over the loss of Johnny Gaudreau. And you kind of join in the middle of that. From your perspective, what was that like? Playing for Johnny, basically. I mean, I don't know if you had any kind of relationship with Johnny before, but what was that like joining a team that was so focused on that singular goal?
Yeah, I've actually never met Johnny. I've met his brother when I was doing my school visits to go to trying to figure out which school I wanted to go to, and he was playing at Boston College at the time. So I met him briefly, but yeah, I mean, coming into that, obviously there's a lot of emotions that come along with that, and such a tragic, thing that happened. And but for me coming in there and getting to see, the effect Johnny had on not only the locker room but the community and throughout the NHL was honestly, it was something special to see. And yeah, he's obviously touched a lot of people's lives and whatnot. And even coming into the locker room, you have his jersey hung up every game day. And it kind of puts things in perspective for a lot of people. And you can't take things for granted, and life is short sometimes. And so you just, like I said, put your best foot forward and continue on with about your business. But yeah, I think using that motivation to rally around Johnny and his brother was amazing. And getting to know Meredith a little bit and their kids, it's an awful thing that happened, but I think the guys and everyone have handled it really well. And there's always going to be that respect for them and their family and what they've been able to do for the NHL. And I think you look at this year, I think it's so special. What happens in hockey is, the ability to band around something like this and just be there for them. And so I got to see obviously Meredith a few times throughout the year and meet their kids and stuff like that. And so it's just it's obviously a sad moment, but it was a special thing to be a part of. And to watch our team kind of band together the way they did to play for Johnny was pretty surreal.
All right, thanks, man, and congrats again.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Dante. Really appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Congratulations.